Oh
All right.
Lord.
We have some callers in the queue. Make sure y'all like this video and subscribe to the channel. All right. So, Ronnie, how you doing? It's been a minute.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hey, what is
I
this
am.
picture? Oh, yo, what is that?
It's a picture of Kyle's
Oh,
hands.
that is. I thought that was Edward Scissorhands. I
Okay,
didn't
you
know.
know what?
Okay, I struggle. I struggle. I struggle. I struggle. Notably, and I say it on my channel too. I've never understood Kyle. Season one, frame one, episode one. It like she's never done it for me. And I know the conversation is usually, well, you need that like what is it, like the voice of reason or the anchor, much like what Candy would do on Atlanta. I just feel like we're giving too much grace for Kyle to have had this many successful seasons. I personally, season one, episode one, was like, this girl doesn't even necessarily belong on the show. She was lackluster season one. So for her to have all these seasons, like something is really odd about that to me. And then I started thinking, I was perplexed on this episode because I said, even though, because I don't want to sound like a hater myself, even though I've not enjoyed her, I think we're going to a territory where she, in a level of her own mental health, needs to step away because she was talking with Mauricio and, of course, playing to the camera. And, of course, we all have experience playing to the camera as well with the works that we've done. And you just get to a level where you see that the person is broken. So even though I have not enjoyed Kyle, she's never been entertaining to me. I just think she's actually going a little too far as a broken and a hollow person because the way she spoke about that interaction with Mauricio as the, well, we're friendly, but he's not really paying attention to me and this, and this, or he's moved on. It felt really, really like if you have all the money in the world, this is no longer good for you at all, Kyle. And I'm saying that like respectfully. And also like just if we're gonna make a comment out of it and make it a joke, it's like she was sort of performing as like an AI. She was like artificial, like she was just saying the sentences that you would say if the well, I don't know if they're broken up yet, but the husband that you're estranged from comes back in the house. It just felt very unhuman like. And I know in the 20 years that I worked in radio, there's just that certain drug about being on the air, in this case on the television, that
Yeah.
you do have to pull away. So it's weird that me, somebody who's not liked her since episode one, season one, frame one, is so like compassionate that I do think she needs to leave. Now, where that sits with the show is she's too interwoven into the show where nothing is able to move on. Her arrested development is causing problems. And I don't blame. I think you guys made a great point. Garcelle, like she's not really like showing up because she had what she had in the earlier seasons. But like I would do what she does too. Get that check and keep it real quiet and move on because no
You.
one has a chance to really grow. Funny enough, I actually don't mind Dorit. Like Dorit, of course, has her faults, but I don't mind her at all. But this just feels too redundant, and it feels like a web that the show needs to get out of. I think Kathy does a good job by just being like goofy Kathy, and that's of course put on, for the show. Like I get it, but I think there needs to be something else. The new girl, I do enjoy her, so there's some potential there.
Yes.
Jennifer Tilly, there's potential there. But I mean, if it was me, you guys, I know this is maybe the most unpopular opinion, but I would take Kyle down. She'd have to be. She
It
could be
ain't
on the
unpopular
show.
with this panel, baby.
She could be on the show. What'd you say?
I said it's not unpopular with this panel.
Oh, she could be on the show, but like in a part-time capacity because now I think she's kind of went to an interesting route, especially that she's done, production and as an actress and all these things. Now she's too addicted to this. So now it's even worse. Like she can't, some of the other people, I always say this like about Kenya Moore, not to always make it about Kenya, how I live for Kenya. But like people like Kenya Moore who have done this for a long time, they're gonna be good regardless of the show. Not saying Atlanta didn't help her career, but like some people are just stars regardless on how they act, how they move, how they operate. Kenya probably wants to continue to do it, but if she doesn't, she's gonna be fine. I feel that Kyle is addicted to this in a very unhealthy way, and it needs to be examined. And I thought when I put the little photo up of her hands, I thought I'd be making fun of her, but really, as I'm talking to you guys, there's something wrong. Something needs to be looked at because this is very unhealthy. Yeah, that's the real deal.
Mm.
That's a valid. That is. I mean, listen. I mentioned it earlier. I said that the scene with her Mauricio is almost like she was meeting this guy for the first time, and she was trying to prove herself to him, and it just felt really weird.
It
I
was
didn't.
cringe. It was
It was
embarrassing.
very cringe to see. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and I don't know, but I agree. And I see comments saying that she's been lackluster since season one.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. I watched season 1, but I didn't watch season 1 when it aired. So I've seen it, all of it, right? But I've never really found Kyle to be interesting, honestly. She's been more interesting the last few seasons that I have been reviewing it. And that's just because, I mean, you know, the cast and other things been going on. And not even interested. She just been more like whatever, right? But I have never really enjoyed her as a housewife, honestly.
Yeah, and this was
Vanderpump is who brought me to Beverly Hills, honestly. Then I went back and watched previous seasons. It was Vanderpump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's who brought me to the show.
Was this comment true? Because I thought I saw this floating around. And this does make for a hard show. None of the cast members here, none of them are married.
No.
Now,
because like even though we don't necessarily miss Crystal, like I just there is something that does get lost from this show when
confessional.
Huh?
Garcelle said it in the confessional.
Yeah. So okay, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know who you cast, because I feel like this particular franchise, they cast like very, very lavish, like it's always got to be about money. But I feel like they're missing like somebody who's on the verge of that. Like I think that's who you cast next season. I don't know who that is. I don't know if there's somebody with the namesake or there's somebody as an unknown, but you got to get somebody as their ascension, because something about just having a bunch of single cast members with all the money in the world. We were talking in the chat earlier. I guess one of the ladies gets $320K a month. Like she don't need to be on the TV. I'm not even dissing Sutton, but she don't need to be on the TV. You got to give it to somebody who's hungry. I feel like that's the problem with Beverly Hills. Nobody is hungry. I think that's kind of the fairest way to say it. There's nobody who's passionate because no one necessarily needs to. Like Sutton's playing around. She's playing in our face. Jennifer Tilly, she's got Simpson money. She could play in our face. Kathy Hilton, she could play in our face. Like there's nobody who actually has any stakes. And I feel like maybe that's what's going on. Anyways, I took enough of your time. Sorry I talked too long. And if you let me have 1 second, if anyone wants to go to my channel to randomlyronniejr.com. Thank you.
Next time, if you're gonna do that, Ronnie, you let me know, please. Thanks.
I'm sorry. I know you got. You got.
Ronnie, it's fine. Ronnie is a long-term friend of mine here. Actually, so we both used to do what's it called, child? I can't think of it. AfterBuzz. And so I actually joined AfterBuzz at the tail end of it. And AfterBuzz was actually an inspiration for me to create the link. So I've known Ronnie for a while. Ronnie's been doing this for way longer than me, honey. So make sure y'all check out his channel as well. Is it Randomly Ronnie Jr. or is Randomly Ronnie? Which one?
This is Randomly Ronnie Jr. But really, the truth is, I'm jealous of you because my dedication has been on and off. I'm old. I'm over 40. So once you get over 40, you know, when I was 28, 32, 35, I was like, oh, I'm going in. But boy, when you turn over 40, I got to say, you slow down. And I wouldn't say jealous. I wouldn't say jealous, but I would say whatever the cousin of jealous is, whatever the word that is. I'm jealous of Tez and all his success. And, you know, over at Randomly Ronnie Jr. is tumbleweed. So if you all want to come over every once in a while, you know, come on over.
Well, go on over there and get rid of them tumbleweeds.
We talk about
Ronnie, okay?
We talk about Kenya Moore quite a bit.
Oh Lord. Okay, yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.
We'll send a friend. We're gonna send a friend.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.